Obviously, we are knee deep in a diss battle off. Diss battle face off, I guess you can say, between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And I want to answer the question. I think this question is a straightforward question that has a very subjective answer. And that is, what makes a diss track successful? What makes a diss track hit? Now, we've seen some incredible diss tracks throughout the years, whether we're talking about No Vaseline, which is probably one of the greatest diss tracks of all time by Ice Cube, whether we talk about Hit 'Em Up from Tupac, which is arguably the greatest diss track of all time, whether we talk about Back to Back from Drake, dissing dissing Meek Mill. And now these diss tracks that were getting push-ups from Drake. You got 616 in AM in LA, the diss that just dropped. You also have Euphoria, which is the Kendrick Lamar responses. Hell, even though he deleted it, you even have 7-minute Drill by J. Cole. Obviously, a diss track is a track, is a song. And there are different layers to how to make a song successful. You know, there are certain things that songs need. You know, it needs a good beat. It needs a hard beat. It needs it needs cohesiveness. It needs to be structured as a good song. But a diss is different from a regular song. While all the components of a regular song is important, the most important thing for a diss track lives in a different realm. It's kind of like how do I say this? It's kind of like it's kind of like the woods. You have a beautiful land, then you have them dark woods over there. That's what a diss track is. While it's still an important piece to the land, you just don't venture over there. I think a successful diss, right? I think the most important aspect of a diss is whoever you're dissing. Your diss track makes the audience look at the target differently. I think if you're able to make a diss and you make the audience question what you're looking at from the target of the diss track, is successful. No Vaseline had us look at NWA or the other members of NWA drastically different. Hit 'Em Up had us look at Biggie drastically different. Back to Back had us look at Meek Mill's drastically different. So the story of Adonis had us look at Drake drastically different. I'm a fan of music. I'm a fan of both Kendrick Lamar. I'm a fan of Drake. I'm also a fan of J. Cole. So for people who's like, there's no big three, I don't subscribe to that. But the reason why, at least to this point, if we want to talk about a winners and losers, if you want to talk about a who's up in the score, the reason why I would say that Kendrick is probably up in his score, because Kendrick is not the one to go lightly on a diss. We've seen some of his shots at Big Sean. We've seen some of his shots at other people. But when you drop a 6.5-minute track and never take your eye off the target, which is Drake, and now you have people looking at Drake differently, and then you go back to back, no pun intended, and drop 6:16 a.m. in LA, you're not playing games, brother. And now what his diss tracks are doing successfully is making people look at Drake differently. Now, obviously, there are people that are always going to love Drake and always going to think Drake is untouchable. And for those people, shouts out to them. But for Kendrick fans and for neutral fans, I think that's what it is. Diss track, you're not getting at the other fan base because you will never win the other fan base. It's always your fan base and the neutral fans. The neutral fans is who diss tracks should target, or who is you can see the effect of a diss track. And neutral fans are starting to look at Drake a little differently. And I'm a neutral fan, and I'm starting to look at Drake because what I do is I play it in sequence. You know, I play Push-Ups, which is a good track. Don't get me wrong. I play Push-Ups, and then you play Push-Ups, and then play Euphoria right after, and then play 6:16 a.m. in LA. That's a tough one. It's hard to compare. I'm a fan of peace, but I'm also a fan of music. And in the hip hop culture, diss tracks, dissing each other has always been a part of the culture. I hope that it never gets above the music and never goes further than the music. Because, at the end of the day, it's just music. Just like LeBron said, it's just basketball. It's just music. And I never want to see anything go further than that, But there are certain people that you don't bark up the tree. And Drake might be that type of person. Because, again, we have not heard the response. But I will say that this is probably the most pointed responses I have ever heard from Kendrick Lamar, back to back, no pun intended. And it doesn't seem like this is a tree that you want to bark up. And like I said, in my opinion, the most successful diss tracks are the diss tracks that make your target or make the audience look at your target differently. And I think that's exactly what's happening with this Kendrick Lamar Drake beef diss off. It's crazy. Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.